to another episode of Recession Busting Tips and Tricks. Ah, good day everyone. It is the Badger. Good day. I'm here as a public service for you all on recession busting. Okay, now my first product that I'll be talking about is Cheeky Wipes. These are a fantastic little product that I've just discovered, and I think they're great. You can use them on your baby's skin or your own, and which is great because they use as a replacement for toilet roll if you wish, or just as a plain baby wipe, nice and soft and natural products for your baby instead of chemical stuff that you buy from the shops, which apparently can help peel off wallpaper. So if you want that on your baby's skin, be my guest. So yeah, yes, indeed. It can save the average family around £20 a month, because once you've obviously made the initial outlay of £40, that's it. You get the whole set, which will include the 2 essential oils, the 2 boxes to store it in, the wipes, and the mesh bag to go with the mucky box, in order so you don't need to touch anything gross. So yeah, that's always nice. Yeah, so none of the whole sort of, because you'll be using the essential oils and they'll be smelling quite nice. Trust me, I know from experience, you need the essential oils. Okay. Yeah, and obviously make sure you clean the boxes out obviously every few days to avoid germs and whatnot. But yeah, it's a fantastic product, and I mostly wholeheartedly recommend it because you'll be saving potloads of cash on your bum and your child's. So go out and get those if you can. Obviously the initial outlay is expensive, but you'll be saving a lot of money in the long run. That's a major promise. On baby skin, coconut oil is a good barrier and helps soothe the skin. Try not to let it get too oily, so you need to keep it a regular temperature. Obviously it becomes too clear, it's not as good. You want it to be like the sort of coconutty type consistency where you can't really see through it. If it becomes too oily, it becomes hard to use. It can be just shoved in the fridge quick for 5 seconds, like 5 minutes, in order to get back to the cloudy consistency you want. It can be used as a cheap and cheerful replacement to Sudocrem and other such expensive products. It retails for about £6 in Tesco's, or a bit higher in the health food shops, but you will get obviously quite large jars for that, and I'd recommend that the average jar in Tesco lasts about 2 months, and the larger ones from the health food shops say 3 to 4. Obviously on each time you use it on your baby's skin, I'd say about half a teaspoonful, no more, otherwise it just becomes too messy. Chamomile tea is a fantastic product as well. I don't personally enjoy drinking it, but it's fantastic for my baby's skin, so I use it for that. Make sure the chamomile tea is completely cold before you pour it on your wipes, and it is a great skin soother for the baby and yourself if need be. Great on eczema and other irritations. It helps soothe sore skin and reduces redness, so if you suffer from eczema, or your baby or child does, a cheap and cheerful alternative to expensive products would be chamomile tea. Retailing at about £1 in Tesco's. It's a lot cheaper than a lot of the jollop you can get in Boots or anywhere like that, so I recommend that. Moving on to supermarket shopping, reduced price food can be a great bargain if you know what you're looking for, and it also can be a very quick meal, as I well know and have had to do on many occasions. Many occasions when I've come back from the gym or a night out, or just quickly from work, you're able to get the hot chickens retailing usually at £6 odd for about £1 to £1.50. This is a fantastic bargain and would feed yourself and your family for at least a night or 2 nights. And if you have cats, you could use it to obviously give them the scraps, make sure there's no bones. You could also boil up the residue, make a soup, or give the oil, or make a broth, depending on your preference. Make sure you use all parts of the chicken to make sure you get your money's worth. That's why it's good if you give out the scraps to the cats and things like that. Or, you know, I absolutely end up shred it to pieces, so I make sure I get my money's worth. Reduced items should be kept for about 2 weeks in the freezer. Obviously not the hot chicken, I wouldn't recommend freezing that. But anything like microwave meals or pies you can do. I'd recommend 2 weeks maximum, because obviously they've been on the shelves for a while, and you don't want to make yourself sick or anything like that. And obviously the flavour goes down, so the quicker you use it the better. I would recommend eating reduced items on night of purchase, and then they're obviously still going to be quite fresh. Top tips: make sure you actually need the item, because otherwise you're just wasting money. You know, there's no point buying for the sake of it. You're just going to make yourself tubsier. Unfortunately, I know from past experience. You know, there's no need to buy it if it's just going to be a waste of food. Unless you need the item, don't buy it unless you can store it, freeze it, or look after it so it stays fresh. Do not waste food. Haha. Expensive tea bags can be really useful in the end. I know you think, well, I'd rather just get PG, but if you spend a little more money on Yorkshire tea bags and things like that, you'll be able to use one tea bag for at least 2 cups of tea, and they'll be strong cups, because Yorkshire tea is a strong brand, so builder's tea if you will. So you'll be able to use that at least for either 2 cups of tea / mugs, or a pot of tea for 4 to 5 people. Believe me, I've done this before and know it works fine. You don't need that much milk, so you'll be saving on plenty of products. It's a great cup of tea, Yorkshire tea. Wholly recommend it. Love this stuff. I'm addicted now, I think. Yes. There's no reason to buy in bulk like bog-offs for no reason. Make sure if you do buy bog-offs, you either use them straight away or store them appropriately, as you're just wasting the extra money you're spending. You might think, oh yeah, I can get an extra 2 for £3, but if you're not you're going to use it and it's just going to be binned, there's no point. So keep the money in your pocket. Do not buy them if you don't have to, or if you know you're not going to use them. Yeah, or get them if you know you can store them properly. That's my top advice. For today's gaming section, my dear friends, shops such as CEX, and pawn shops are fantastic in the recession and have thrived, and I've used them since I was a wee nipper, and I think they're fantastic. I always remember going in there, trading my VHSs and waiting to get Game Boy games and things like that. So I'm talking about year dot. So, and now I'm a 33-year-old man and still use them and think they're fantastic. You can go in there and take in all your old junk, you know, lots of old DVDs. Obviously I don't accept CDs or VHS anymore, most don't anyway, so beware of that. DVDs and Blu-rays and games mainly, I would say, are the safest bet. You'll be able to obviously trade these in for either cash or other products. I tend to like to get a voucher and save up, so I take a lot of items in at once and get a big voucher, and then I'm set for the year for games or DVDs or CDs or whatever, or Blu-rays. I tend to focus on the games, because then if you wait a while, even they get cheaper in CEX, so then you get more bang for your buck. Make sure you always get the most you can for your money, otherwise you're just giving it to the man, and the man won't say thanks. He'll just be smiling and you'll be out of pocket. So save your money. Wait a few months before that game goes down in price. Make sure it goes down in price before you get it. There's no point getting it on day of release paying £60. Wait a few months and then maybe 50 to 40, and then if you still want it but you're not too sure, wait a bit longer and a bit longer and a bit longer like I do, and then you'll be paying £10 instead of the massive retail price of £60. You know, that's a good bit of advice there. It's a good easy way also to get quick cash. If you're in trouble, you know, it's a great way to get cash. I find that if you need even just to pay for a cinema ticket, it's worth getting, because obviously if you could just trade in a crappy DVD and you're able to pay for a day out, that's worth it. I don't recommend using sites such as eBay anymore, because I think they've been ruined. They were good to begin with, but now they've been ruined with all the excessive fees and all the waffle that comes with it. You know, it's much simpler and much easier to use when it first came out, and I was an avid eBay seller to begin with. Now not so much, because they take too much of a slice of the pie. If you make, say, a tenner, they'll probably take at least £3 off, which then makes it not really worth it, because you're not getting a tenner anymore, you're just getting close to a 7, you know, and you think, well, all that effort for £7. So that's why I recommend just nipping to CEX, putting the stuff in and getting the voucher or getting the cash, because it's a lot quicker than eBay and a lot less hassle. I think that they've been ruined, I really do. I'm not a fan anymore, but I would recommend CEX and things like that, posting those in. Just a quick other note on CEX and other sort of retro gaming shops. If you can manage to have a CD, and not so much, well, we go into how to rescue cartridges another day, but to begin with we're going to talk about CDs. If you can go to the shop and manage to get them cleaned and get the scratch layered removed off for about £2 to £4, you'll be restoring a beloved old game for about a £5, and you won't need to shell out £50 to £60, which is probably the current rate for a good retro game. Obviously it's up to you if you want to buy 2 copies, 3 copies, the works, you know, some people like doing that, but if you've only got the 1 copy and cannot afford really to buy a fresh one, I would recommend only spending the money on getting it cleaned. And that'll wrap it up for today. Hope you've enjoyed today's recession busting tips and tricks, and I'll be back with another episode of this and many more soon. And let me know if you want to talk about any more, and let me know any tips that you've come up with. I'll be talking about how to save cartridges in future episodes and other things to do with gaming and a sorted lifestyle. Let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about in future episodes. Bye Badgeteers, see you next time. Ta-ra, goof.